I believe that Boko Haram started as a fringe Muslim fundamentalist group that was peaceful, because from all the information available, Boko Haram has been in existence since 2002. And the defining moment that moved the sect from being peaceful to being violent was the confrontation it had with the authorities in Borno State in 2009. Okay. They were going to bury two of their members that had died in a motorcycle accident. And on the orders of Borno State government, the police opened fire on them and killed about 19 of them. Yeah. That was the beginning. Before then, Boko Haram has never said a thing to anyone. That was the beginning. That was when they began to arm themselves and began to shoot at policemen and so on. And then in July 2009, before going to President Erdogan ordered the military to crush them. And many of their leaders and members were arrested alive, and they were killed, extrajudicially executed. It's on Al Jazeera, the whole world has seen it. Mohammed Yusuf, his father-in-law, and one other leader were collected from their homes and killed. The state became a murderer. That is the foundation of the violence we are now seeing. And when a few of them managed to escape, they regrouped and started taking their revenge on the Nigeria police, the government of Borno State, and any other symbol of federal authority. That's the beginning of Boko Haram. This started in 2011. So it is absolute nonsense. It is the height of mischief for anyone to attribute it either to a northern conspiracy or to a Muslim conspiracy or anything. Anyone that says that means he doesn't have a brain. I'm sorry. So, because this all happened in a few years ago, just a few years ago. So it's not like it happened 200 years ago. Look, the Jonathan camp believe that the reason why you have Boko Haram is because a southerner Christian is president. That's what they believe. How can it be when Boko Haram's first confrontation with the government was in July 2009 under President Erdogan? Is Erdogan a southerner? Is Erdogan a Christian? It is absurd. You have a government whose IQ is less than 30 that always tries to blame others for problems instead of looking at them and solving them. How can anybody say that Boko Haram is a northern conspiracy against a southern president? It's nonsense. Was Obasanjo not a southern president? Was Boko Haram there? But when you are too incompetent to look at a problem, think it through, and find solutions, you blame others. This is what they are trying to do. Everyone must accept that the government was unfair to this sect. By extrajudicially killing their leaders and members, the government has become a criminal. It has committed an offense against this sect. And if you want to correct things, you must first step back, get those that ordered the killing, get those that did the killing, and put them on trial. The government has refused to do that. Every effort to say, sit with these people and find out what their grievances are and negotiate the end of it, have been rejected. Anybody that makes the suggestion is tagged Boko Haram sponsor, Boko Haram sympathizer. So we have folded our arms and left the government to sort it out. So the government should stop playing games and start blaming this or that for security when it is their primary responsibility. They can't give us security, they should pack and go back to Ocho, wherever they came from. Boko Haram has become bolder, in some ways better organized, and have moved from shooting to bombing. Okay? Why? In my opinion, this happened because the government was not looking at solutions. Yeah. They were looking to link Boko Haram to some of us in opposition. That's what they spent their last 1 year trying to do. Every one of my phone conversations is recorded by the SSS. Anytime they arrest anyone from Boko Haram, they check his phone to see if he has ever called Nasir El-Rufai, Atiku Abubakar, Boko Haram, or IBD. That's what they've been doing. That's what they call intelligence. So, they are not looking at the right place, they are looking at the wrong place. They are trying to link that to people in opposition so that they can take us out. They have not tried to address the problem. They have not tried to take any suggestion from community leaders. When the Borno elders came to see Jonathan in June, they said, withdraw the military, they are causing more harm and creating more Boko Haram sympathizers than solving the problem. Withdraw the military, let us get involved. And Jonathan did not even consider it. He told them he wasn't withdrawing the military. Today in Kano, soldiers are killing more people than Boko Haram ever killed. You think that if that continues, the people of Kano will not have more sympathy for Boko Haram than the government? This is the issue. They are messing up everywhere. What also has happened is, in addition to the original Boko Haram, there have been others that use the brand. I believe, and I've said this, and no one has come out to contradict me, that the government has its own Boko Haram. The government has people that do these bombings and killings when it suits them. I believe it. I believe that the level of organization of some of these attacks are beyond any ragtag group of fanatics. These people are trained. These are military trained people. And they are mercenaries, and I think they are paid by the government. I believe that. The bombing in Kaduna, the Easter bombing, till today, no one has spoken about it. But those of us in Kaduna, all the information we pieced together, even from friends in the police, indicate that it was the government that did it. They arrest people in government involved in bombing churches, and you never hear about it. In Gombe, an SSS officer was arrested trying to bomb a church in the name of Boko Haram. An SSS officer. Since then, nobody has heard anything about it. It has not been brought on trial. We know all these things. So the government is involved in some of these things. What their agenda is unclear. Maybe they want to break up the country. Maybe they want to have their own little oil enclave. We don't know. But clearly, government is part of this Boko Haram. And the president has admitted it too. It was Freudian slips when he said they're in his government. Okay? Secondly, there is a lot of criminal activity going on using the brand name of Boko Haram. Robbing banks and so on and saying Boko Haram. It's not Boko Haram. There are times when attacks will take place and Boko Haram will issue a statement that it is not us. For instance, the killings of Igbo traders in Mubi. It was the commissioner of police shamelessly said he got a call from Boko Haram claiming responsibility. A few days later, it was found that it was a dispute between two traders, that they opened fire and killed each other. And it was said to be Boko Haram. So there is a lot of criminal activity going on in the name of Boko Haram. There is also a lot of political settling of scores going on in the name of Boko Haram. You have 4 variants of Boko Haram in Nigeria today. The original Boko Haram, the government's Boko Haram, which is under the control of the security agencies, the criminal Boko Haram, and the political Boko Haram. Now, why would the government not want to sit and at least discuss with these people? Because if they do, the other 3, including the government Boko Haram, must stop operating. That is the only reason. Those that are saying that, crush them, only military action, should tell me, I'm a student of history, should tell me where in the world military action alone has solved an insurgency. Is Nigeria different? We are different human beings. Was the IRA destroyed by military action? Was the Taliban wiped out by the Americans? Till today, the Americans are trying to talk to the Taliban. Was Al-Qaeda in Iraq defeated by the Americans before they packed and ran back to Washington? It's absurd. You combine military action because whoever kills must be responded to. You combine military action with diplomacy. That is how every insurgency and every war is ended. But in Nigeria, people are telling us that no, we will not talk to them. Okay, don't talk to them, go on. Let's see how it ends. It is a terrorist organization. It is. Any organization that takes arms against the state is a terrorist organization. So is MEN, by the way. They're a terrorist organization. So was OPC. Any organization that takes arms against the state is a terrorist organization. It should be treated as such. But let's not be selective about who is a terrorist. Someone's terrorist can be another person's freedom fighter, but we know what a terrorist is. You may be sympathetic to their cause, so to you, they are freedom fighters. Like the PLO was considered a terrorist organization by many countries, but to many of us, the PLO were freedom fighters. So you could have that debate, but any organization that takes up arms against the state is a terrorist organization. That's the definition. I don't know. I think that the government has an opportunity to rethink its strategy and resolve these issues. And then our lives will begin to go back to normal. They also have the choice to continue in their path and lead all of us to perdition. These are the two broad choices, really. And, it's out of my hands. I am in opposition, I write my weekly column, I express my opinions, but that's what I can do. It is those that are vested with authority that have the primary responsibility to resolve this. Whether they resolve it or not will determine whether we have a country or a future or a democracy. It is as simple as that. It's a heavy burden, but I'm happy it is not mine.